Hello, and you're very welcome to episode 54 of the Take a Poll podcast with Andy Cummins and Declan Carroll. And we are covering one of the many days of the Killarney Festival on this podcast. Always a great festival, which, Dec, you said in a tweet that Ceanndana won down there last year on this card that we're covering, which is a bit strange because he won again last week. So congratulations.
It's becoming less and less strange.
Yeah, well, thanks for taking time out of your celebrations to join me tonight. It's much appreciated. Go on, tell us a little bit about it. How was Friday and how's the horse come out of it?
Look, it was deadly. The whole day, it was just a great buzz. It's just the whole experience is getting more and more surreal. Dara from TG Catter grabbed me early on for a few words live on TG Catter. I'd no couple of fuckle. Didn't even think of it. He's asking, "Where's George?" Like, it's mad. And then obviously quite nervous before the race. Like I was genuinely serious when I thought it was his toughest task, but kind of throughout the race, every time he jumped the hurdle, you were getting more and more confident, and heading out into the last circuit, you were kind of going, "This looks," I'd say anyone who was on him was confident that they were on the winner, Obviously, we were interviewed at length by Kevin Ryan on RTV after it, and it's just, the buzz is unbelievable. It's some experience. Like I said it before, Andy, and many horses do we, find that win a race at a low level and then they don't win again. Even if they run well again, a lot of them don't win again or don't win for a long time. He's racking them up now. It's 4 times. He's just deadly. He's such a professional. You can do anything with him: hurdles, fences. You can drop him out. You can make it with him. You can run him over a range of trips. It's just like we came home after it, and I just went, did go out with the lads. Went out with a couple of my mates. Went down to my local, and everyone started cheering when we walked in. And then we went back on Saturday, and everyone was still buzzing,
still cheering.
All the barmen were coming over saying thanks. And then I went in for a bit of lunch on Monday, and they were still talking about it. It's really dream come true stuff. And I was thinking Galway. I don't know whether we'll make Galway. It's coming quick. He's 3 miles probably took a lot out of him, but there's options after that. We get another run into him somewhere, and like Ross said it himself in the interview, it's a real festival horse. You have the Harvest Festival coming up, and then something me and you briefly mentioned, or you mentioned to me, Andy, is the open meeting at Cheltenham is a real possibility now if you're going to get fast ground. So what an experience it would be to finish the season there, and never thought he'd be that sort of horse like that could take you to those places. He's taking us all around the country, and he's delivering again and again. The handicapper's not missing him anymore. He got £10, but that's getting us into better races now. It's going to take us to the next stage, the next places such as Cheltenham, and look, we're a good bit off that, but you have to dream big, so
you're not as far off as you think, because if you give him a little entry down in the Cotswolds, the English assessor will probably give him another £10 or at least another £8. Like, he definitely is the type of horse now. One's all over the place. Out of the top 3 once since December 2022, which I think is egregious. Even that's a testament to Ross, really. How the form he's kept that horse in, how well he's been campaigned. But like all those ones, that progressive profile, you send him over to England, he's not going to be missed, which is going to be very, very interesting now. I'd love to see it. You should almost log into the HRI. Do you have Ross's password? Just give him an entry anywhere. So I want to see what you get anywhere.
Yeah, look, you mentioned Ross there. Like, he's deadly. He's a brilliant trainer, and you only have to look at what he does with the quality of horses he has, and he's proven himself on the flat, and he's getting a better and better class of flat horse, and he's delivering. He's Royal Ascot runners every year now. He was second in the Fred Winter this year. He's had a filly ran in the Fred Winter before. Just needs one good jump horse, one really, really good one. And very confident. Now, all of a sudden, the next Gavin's gone well. He's winning Queen Mary's and he's winning Grade Ones at Cheltenham and the big festivals. Like, Ross is well able to train. He just, like all good trainers, they need that bit of luck. They need the good one sent to them, and they never look back. And I know if he gets one good one sent to him, he won't look back because, and what a nice man as well. He's so approachable, so accessible. Twice I spoke to him on the phone today. You're just chatting away. You're even talking about Ceanndana, and he's a lovely man, and the yard are brilliant as well. All the staff are class, they're so friendly, and the whole team there deserve all the success that they get, and the success that's going to come their way when he gets a really, really good one.
Yeah, and who knows? It could even be Ceanndana. We don't know where the bottom is. We don't know where the bottom is. You never know. And you're a good salesman nature. Tommy and myself have ended up getting involved in the racing club, and one of his 2-year-olds, Lost President, made his debut on Saturday in Navan. Ran a blinder, missed the start, but came home really, really well, full of promise. You could not have asked for much more, given how quickly he learned through the race, and he'll be winning races in no time, I'm sure. So, as I said, plenty of updates as well, and that they're coming from Ross as well. So he's a fantastic trainer, operates at all levels, includes everyone. Has done a great job, as you said, with Ceanndana. There's not much more you can kind of ask from a trainer. So with a bit of luck now, he stays sound, he stays in good form. Yeah, and we keep racking up those ones. And please enter him in the UK because I want to see what he gets.
And look, do you know what? Keith's been brilliant for him as well. It's no secret. I think Keith's one of the best jockeys in the world. But what Keith does with the kids, George and his cousin Harrison was there on Friday, and Keith makes so much time for them, and it's so important. And Keith he's a top lad. He came back. He was going in to weigh in, and somebody called him, and he was kind of like, let him go. He has to weigh in. He was back over, not a problem, and he makes such a big deal of them. And those kids, they'll remember that for the rest of their lives. Do you know what I mean?
They're seeing a sports star, really.
A sports star, world class, giving them so much time and being their mate. He come in straight. He's straight to the kids. And he's shaking their hands. How are you? A couple of words with them, and look, he's been absolutely brilliant. We're blessed to have him. He's been absolutely brilliant. Another great ride, and he just needs to learn to wave his arms a bit more.
He had a look under his shoulder. I'd say I was like, no.
He got a stompy doing that. That was like Barry Garrity on Moscow Flyer. It was a long one.
It was. No, it was. Look, what can you do? I was still, as you said, fantastic ride, and look, long may it last.
It's getting harder and harder to hide from the handicapper, and he's on to us. So I suppose if you're going to get punished, you may as well, you may as well enjoy it, because that was that looked deadly on the telly. Now, if I actually didn't even back him, do you know what I mean? I just wanted him to win, but if I wasn't connected to the horse and I backed him, I'd have thought that was absolutely deadly.
Yeah, you know that that Leonardo DiCaprio meme? I think it's from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's him sitting with the cigarette and pointing at the telly. Yeah. In the replay, Lisa O'Neill said, and Keith almost takes a pull before the last. Oh my God. I tried to get it, and then eventually, unfortunately, I jumped up and changed the channel, so I couldn't record it.
Ross did give us he did give the podcast a mention when he was getting interviewed after the race. So fair play for that as well.
Right, well, let's do what we do best, Deck, and find winners. So we'll jump straight into the 502, the Killarney Plaza Hotel and Spa Maiden Hurdle. Have you ever stayed at the Killarney Plaza Hotel? With the amount of prize money Ceanndana's racking up, you might be able to quite soon. So we're sure it's a few quid.
We've been fortunate enough to stay down in Killarney twice with Ceanndana, but I can't remember the hotel the first time. Sorry, the racecourse. There was the apartment last year, so I don't think we've been in the Killarney Plaza.
We'll stick it on the list. It's anyway, they decided to sponsor the opener here, the Maiden Hurdle. Interesting enough, old race. Tyson Fury and Qatar Racing Silks making his hurdling debut. Has a triple figure rating on the flat, rate 104 on the flat. There's probably some horses in this race that'll never make 104 over hurdles, never mind the flat. So he brings a very good level of form to it. He just has to be to the race, just has to be able to jump. He is a 7-year-old, kind of joining late in the day. My Great Mate is probably going to be favourite. He was beaten by Donny DeVito of Ross O'Sullivan fame last time out. He just looked the winner everywhere, bar kind of the run in. Donny DeVito just showed a great tenacity. Tom Harvey getting him up late enough, but snugly enough in the end as well. So he's probably a nice horse for Ross as well. So with all being well, but My Great Mate is probably going to be favoured to make amends. Also, it's probably between the two of them, Deck, I would imagine. Fast Felix in there, rate 109. I'd say that might be a little bit short of what's going to be required to win this. El Baraka as well, hasn't been seen in over a year, second in a point when last seen as a 4-year-old. So who would you fancy here, Deck? Is there anything jumping out at you?
I do think my Great Mate is going to be difficult to beat. Like as you said, he was second on his hurdle debut to Donny DeVito. He is a 2-time bumper winner. He's obviously a horse with, that can perform to a decent enough level. I am going to take on on Tyson Fury, the Qatar Racing horse. I think 7 is late to be learning to jump. As we said before, like often you get lower rated horses who turn out to be better than the 100 plus low horses because they just jump better, they love it better. At 7, I'm not sure he's going to absolutely love it. But you did mention Fast Felix, Andy. He does have that rating of 109. He struggled. Like we spoke last year, saying he was going to be quite a nice horse. I think Owen said he wasn't the bumper horse, even though he's won a bumper. But he has struggled since going out. He struggled of late, but Owen's starting to hit form now. So if he's a rating of 109 when he hasn't performed to his best, I'd expect him at Killarney to outrun that rating. So I'd be prepared to give him another go. Owen does get winners at Killarney, and he is starting to hit a bit of form now. We had a winner the other night at down Patrick?
I couldn't tell you.
I think he did winner down Patrick the other night, but
he did indeed. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Look, I'd say that rating was probably given on a horse running out of form. So I'd say he's better than that 109. My Great Mate is going to be difficult to beat, but I'm not backing an odds-on shot. So I'll roll the dice for Fast Felix.
Yeah, the rating's almost certainly down to the 3 lengths second to down memory lane at Down Royal, I would imagine. That's probably his best piece of form. He has ran well in bumpers as well, even though, as you said, Owen did say he wasn't quite a bumper horse. Yeah. But maybe he prefers soft ground. That run was his only run on soft ground. That might be worth maybe noting. But like as I said, 109, it should be good enough to get you placed. But if Tyson Fury can travel, he could be very, very hard to beat. But I would imagine My Great Mate will make amends. Good bumper horse, good second to Donny DeVito. So I would imagine he'd be the one to be here. Moving on then, Deck, to the 532, a quintet of mares. It's just a pretty bog standard mares hurdle. Instant Tendance, carrying 11 stone 1, Sammy Ewing riding for Gordon presenting Diane, Folly Beach, Lady Rita and Redwood Queen, who looks quite well favoured at the weights now, rated 129 and only carrying 10 stone 7. Her form kind of amassed in handicap company. Lady Rita as well with good course form. If you ignore her previous run, her second to Minx Tiara does read pretty well in the context of this race. But Deck, competitive enough field. Who do you fancy?
Yeah, I think this is a nice little race. It's quite tricky. I think really, really interested in this race. Lady Rita was a winner of 113, and then she was second off 118, but she achieved a rating of 120 now. That was over shorter. Is she going to improve? Oh, sorry, she was a winner over this trip, I think, and then the second was over shorter. So she might, find more improvement coming back to this trip. But yeah, you're right about Redwood Queen, rated 129. She won 3 in a row before she was third. She's clear on the ratings. But the one I'm going to give it a chance there is Folly Beach. She was rated 67 on the flash. She ran a cracker on her hurdles debut. She's only a 6-year-old. I think there's more to come from her. And look, she's never going to. But she obviously has she got a rating? She hasn't got a rating yet, obviously. But
No.
you know, it wasn't going to be near 129 anyway, having only ran once. She's very unexposed over hurdles, so I think there could be more to come from her. And although she's quite inexperienced over obstacles, she could spring a surprise here.
Yeah, she's probably going to be the rag of the field. I would have thought comfortably. Look, I could give a chance to any 5 of them. If Folly Beach obviously improves on her first run, Instant Tendence brings recent and consistent form to the table. Presenting Diane, she's having her first run off a break. Look, I think you'd be hanging your hat on the form that she showed at Killarney last year. She kind of struggled a bit in her runs in August and September and October of last year. I'd say she'd be best watched. Lady Rita, as I said, if you forgive her last run, her second to Minx Tiaro put her bang there. And then, as you said, Redwood Queen, all her form in handicaps, rattled off a hat-trick and then somehow went off 20-1 after the hat-trick and finished third. Last time out, like, I don't know how she went off 20-1. Like, she could not have been given away that day at Bellewstown. Probably had something to do with her going up 16 pounds, I'm not sure. It nearly didn't stop her though. The 129 is probably fair, given how she ran there, but I would probably stick with, oh god, I don't know. I was about to say Lady Rita, but I wanted to say Instant Tendence, but the 11 stone one, I just cannot bat if she's wrong at the weights, even though she's in such good form, is only 6. I was thinking, I was leaning then towards Lady Rita. I'm just not sure they're going to go fast enough for with a small field. So I would probably say Redwood Queen is going to be the one to beat. I think Instant Tendence is going to give it a really good go. I would think that 120, I think that's a workable mark for her. But what they're kind of done here, running in this conditions race and giving weight away to, rivals that are at her minimum as good as her. And then Redwood Queen, 9 pounds better than her. It's too hard to ignore Redwood Queen at the weights. I think she'll be Instant Tendence. And Lady Rita, I think, will stay on from probably a long way back. And she'll probably look one of the first beat and probably come home well. Maybe there's another race in her later in the summer. But it'll be Redwood Queen for me. And I do agree with you, Declan. I think that's a very, very interesting race.
Yeah.
We'll move on then to the next race. The Adair Manor Opportunity handicap hurdle. There's one of them on every second or third pod that we do. An 80 to 116. Always a great series, gives the younger up and coming jockeys great opportunities week in, week out. Really, really strong field as well of 16. I think we both agreed on one here, Dec. I'll let you cover it in a moment, but there is a Phoenix Cowboy as well who had a triple figure rating on the flat at one stage for Jerry Lyons. He's down to 111, has ran into form for Shark Hanlon. Wandering Rocks has been in decent form. Henning, very consistent mare at the top of the weights there too. And Dun Carrig, who might be remembered by some big Irish racing fans for racing very wide and winning at Navan. His first run for James Barrett was quite eye-catching. They went from the front and nearly did it, but it was a much better run than what he had shown in previous efforts, and he could be interesting as well for that team. But Dec, take us to one through the one you like. A friend of the show as well, I should add. Well,
look, you've mentioned what I think is the danger already in Phoenix Cowboy. He was well held third off 112 over short of the last day, but it was a close second over 2 mile 3 furlongs on handicap debut, and is can definitely see him maybe following her home. But yeah, it's David Mons, Tea Garden Jazz. She took a hard fall back in April. She was running a big race on her handicap debut at Bellewstown. But she's had a couple of runs since, and she did look to have recovered last day. She was second to Cabra Queen. She's a mare I do think a fair bit of. I think I spoke about her on research. She ran a Fairy House in the Maiden. She's a nice 5-year-old mare. Get Tea Garden Jazz on your 5-year-old. Look, she's off 106 here. I actually text Dave today, and obviously Dave's doing that thing I do when Ceanndana runs, and
you list everything.
listen, I'll be afraid of this one and that one and go through the whole field, like, you know.
Afraid of his own shadow.
Yeah, exactly, like, you know. So, if Dave mightn't be confident, but I'd be bullish enough now hearing about Teagarden Jazz. I think she's a good thing. Don't worry, Dave. I'll get the real better.
Yeah, look, I think they could ride her prominently. The main thing with this mare, I would imagine, is confidence. As you said, she wasn't done with it when falling at the last on her handicap debut. Was running a blinder. She did not jump well at all after that. She had a bit of a not even a bit of a break, only a couple of weeks off. She didn't jump with any type of fluency. Never looked comfortable. Was well beaten from an early stage at Clonmel, and then at Listowel, she travelled okay, and then just petered out. I went kind of at the business end of the race, but it was much more like it behind Cobra Queen, and I would agree, Dec. I'd say she's one you have to put in the tracker. She won that like a very, very good progressive mare.
I think she's very, very nice flavour on there.
Yeah, looking at the form as well, lovely reaction back in third. I'd say that was a strong enough race for the grade. But the main thing about it, and we mentioned it with Ross and Ceanndana, Teagarden Jazz's confidence. It looked like she got it back at Cork, and given the way she was performing on handicap debut before she fell, if she's captured that confidence back, she should be able to progress and go on, and with a bit of luck, win this race. So she'd be my pick as well. I think she's got an outstanding chance. I will be keeping a close eye on Duncarrig because they rode him the way he needed to be ridden on his stable debut. I think he could be he's a bit of a claustrophobic horse. He just needs to have his own space and do it his own way, which could be from the front. He could set a bit of a gallop, but that wouldn't be a problem for Teagarden Jazz. I think she's got a sensational chance, and best luck to David and the team.
All the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 6:37, the Kerry Drain Services handicap hurdle. I'd say they're busy enough now with the weather that they get down there. But anyway, so 80 to 95. It is 16 runners. We got the 3 reserves as well, Dec. This is your happy hunting ground. I'm sure you're going to find something for us. Go on, take it away. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'm just actually going to. It is. Yeah, I'm just checking. It was the race he won last year, and it is. Ceanndana. So, I thought it was tough. This now, Crack Ella. His last run was over 2 mile 4, and he was second off 88. He's in here off 90. He'd been out of 4 before that, but it'd been quite a while since he'd ran over 2 mile 4. But even his last run over 2 mile 4 wasn't all that. Maybe coming back to this trip was what brought out the best in him again. So, look, I'm kind of, you wouldn't be confident on that. That's how deep I was looking for something here, but. Then I found Arctic Saint 6-year-old. He kept on well to finish 5th last twice in handicaps. He could be more prominent here. That's what we're looking to see. He's one of those that we're looking out for, and he's never been better in midfield. So if he did line up a bit more prominent, you're hoping he's the one here. But that was really, really difficult. That might mean it's a very winnable race, and he might be the obvious one.
Yeah,
he's only running in 2 handicaps, and he was coming home nicely enough to finish 5th. So that's where I'm going. But very, very tough race.
Sorry, who was that again, Nick?
Arctic Saint.
Arctic Saint. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. What about like Boyville last for Owen McCarthy? She's just creeping up the weights without winning, and that's something you kind of hate to see, isn't it?
It's so hard to win in Ireland. That, like, how many times do we see horses win on their second run of the handicap, and when they don't, they might never win. Hard Target was the perfect example. He was second in this race last year. He bumped into Ceanndana that day. The next day he bumped into something else. He just kept bumping into 1 2 pound every time, and I don't think he's won since. He's gone over fences now, and it's just, if you don't win that time and you're well handicapped, life just gets so tough. So obviously she's creeping up the weights. That turned me off now.
Yeah. I suppose another one that you could look at, and you'd be kind of a brave man, I suppose, to have a go would be Woody Wango, who he gets into this bracket. He gets into the 95 bracket for the first time in his career, and is down from 2 miles 6 at Tramore. He was well beaten. Like, you couldn't make a case for him on what he achieved at Tramore. He as you said, never really went the yard there. Did run okay behind Baltic Bird at Cork, but you're asking for a lot there, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, look, it is a good point that he's down in grade, but it's only it's the only piece of form is that behind Baltic Bird, and has he really done enough?
Probably not. Like, he's beaten 4 horses in his life. Not 4 horses. He's beaten 4 horses since that run behind Baltic Bird. You'd want to see a little bit more. Again, it's probably a horse that maybe you could watch with a view to the next day and see if he shows something in this grade, but doesn't get too close to go back up out of this grade.
Yeah. Look, we've mentioned confidence a few times tonight. A nice run against lower grade horses. He picks up a bit of confidence. He could be a different horse the next day if he stays in the grade. Maybe that could be the thing, but he's more a watching brief than a bet here.
Yeah, exactly. That's fair enough. And tramps like us who gets to drop into this grade as well. I think he might have ran it the last time though, but could be interesting as well nonetheless. I will stick with Owen McCarthy's horse though. At least what my Villa last, she's shown enough form to suggest that she'll go well. She's back down from 3 miles, so they could go hard from the front, which can sometimes suit a Killarney, but it wouldn't be with any degree of real confidence now. It wouldn't be a Teagarden Jazz confidence or Ceanndana confidence from last week.
The other thing that would put me off about her climbing the weights and without winning is she's 6, she's not 5. Right. If she was climbing them as a 5-year-old and we'd be coming into the autumn, I'd be more inclined to give her a chance. But as a 6-year-old, they keep bumping into progressive ones. Look, 6 is still young enough. Like,
big ageist. You are.
We are very ageist around here.
We are. You were nearly discounting Ceanndana because he was 7 the other day.
I don't even think about his age. I just looked up and I looked up when we were talking about David earlier, and he's actually the same age as Popova.
Yeah.
And I still think of him as a little baby, You're not a little baby anymore.
No, he's all grown up now. Right, 80 to 116 is the next race deck, the KPH Construction Handicap Hurdle, the 7:10 race. I think it's the first race over 2 mile 1. The rest of the cards over this trip, concluding with 2 bumpers. Whoop-de-doo. But anyway, Deck, again, another competitive enough heat. There was no talk of getting Ceanndana in here under a penalty, was there?
No.
Sure, I don't think there was actually, because he went up on Monday, didn't he? So it didn't matter.
He went up on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. So there was no chance. All right, fair enough then. So anything you like here? Again, very competitive race, and you could give a chance to quite a lot of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on everything I said in the last race.
What, and go for Wouldn't You Agree or something, the 10-year-old?
I'm gonna go for Red Glory, a 6-year-old.
All right, okay.
He would an opening mark of 102, and after placing the 2 handicaps and a rate,
it's up to 106.
Well, come here. I have to look for something. I didn't think there was anything really sticking out. I think it's a very winnable race, and he'd be the one for me. Look, I could find Arctic Saint in the last race to make me avoid Al McCarthy's mare, but Greg, I think it's a very, very winnable race, and Greg Doherty, while he is going up, he's the progressive one here. He's placing 2 handicaps and the rated hurdle. We know those rated hurdles can be tough, Andy.
Absolutely.
So, up £4 since his opening mark, but it's just the race is winnable. So he's the only one I'm looking at here, which helps as well.
Yeah, that does help. I like Charles O'Brien's horse, Paradise Lost, too. I thought was a bit unlucky on the flat last time out of Tipperary. I think decent ground is very, very important to his chances. I think he'd want it yielding or better, really, to be shown to his best effect. Soft on the flat is fair enough. Like it's good enough for him. But this quick ground, this especially quick ground, being by Australia, he showed decent enough form in maiden hurdles last season. He was well beaten by Staffordshire Knott, but before that, like his run behind Lombron and his handicap run behind Your Honour at Limerick at Christmas on ground, he would have hated it. Wasn't a bad effort at all either. So I think he's quite interesting off 112 here. And Deck, guess what? He's a 5-year-old, so I think he's got a fair enough chance for the Charles O'Brien team. Right, moving on to the pair of bumpers, we can probably rattle through these ones quite quickly. Do you have anything for the Dr. Ivo O'Sullivan? Ivo O'Sullivan, that's a good name. Flat race.
Our race last year was named after him.
Was it? Or he was winning Ivo's race this year then?
I couldn't find anything this. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, look, they're very, very lightly raced 4-year-olds. Time in a bottle, 5th last time out for the Henry de Bromhead team. You're going on very, very little. It would be interesting to see what price Hey Boy does open up at. He is by a German stallion in Bathryon. I've probably Bathryron, is it? I don't know. It's hard to.
Which one is
it? The Hey Boy for Willie Mullins. So I'd imagine he's going to be the probably the bookie's favourite.
The Tyrant, I'd say.
Do you think?
The Tyrant, yeah.
The Tyrant.
The Tyrant.
Is Batyron? I was looking for it. You're thinking about the stallion. Okay.
Yeah, wait, what were you saying?
I was like, who's the Tyrant? I was just saying, is there one there with form?
Is that what you were struggling with?
It was exactly what I was struggling with. And we've got at the Wings, who's a son of Wings of Eagles. That could be very interesting. The Derby winner, Wings of Eagles, with his first National Hunt Runners. What a depressing sentence that is. Right, so yeah, we'll move straight on from the bumper. We'll best watched is the comment for that. Anything for the ladies pro-am deck? I suppose there's a little bit more form to go on, I suppose, but not much more.
Yeah, I like Belltown Lake for Eugene O'Sullivan, and I forgive me, Miss DJ Kerwin. I don't know her first name. Do you?
It's not the one that's trained by Paul Nichols, is it? Danny or Danielle?
It was
Danny Kerwin.
Oh,
Danny Kerwin.
It's right.
Right, Norris.
Belltown Lake. He was a point-to-point winner in Kildare, and the second and third have actually followed up in Britain, winning races in a row. So he's carrying some form into the race. I know you have Jody riding for Willie in the double green, but it's El Fabian, it's not El Fabiolo, and I think he's been beaten twice, hasn't he?
She has, yeah.
Oh, she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I thought the only one I could find with a bit of form in here was that I liked was Belltown Lake, and I just like when horses they've beaten have won races, and it doesn't always bother me what the level is at. In bumpers, it doesn't have to be high grade races, but the second and third from the point to point have followed up in Britain, so unreal. So that's good enough for me.
Yeah, the dam of El Fabian is a half sister to El Fabiola, so that's probably where the name is coming from.
Or he couldn't lay his glove on Captain Guinness anyway.
Yeah, that's a valid point. He can't jump at speed anymore, but it looks either. We might be seeing him up in trip, and who knows, maybe we'll do a little National Hunt preview in a month or two's time. We'll see. We get our own, maybe a few. We need to get the book back out.
There's a couple of things in the pipeline, don't we?
We do have a couple of things. Yeah, we'll be able to share them quite soon. I'm sure we've
phone call today, so
yeah,
a bit of a stable tour we'll be able to bring to you soon from.
Absolutely.
I won't be William Mullins or Gordon Elliott now.
Nah, who does that? Do them to death.
Sure, we know what all their horses, but this will be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, and look forward to that. And we'll try our best to keep expanding the podcast as well. We'll have to have a discussion over many points, maybe, and we'll see how that one goes. That was a good bit of fun, Deck. A nice quick podcast. Nap at the Tap is it's a relatively simple one, isn't it?
Straightforward. Like, you know, as much as Dave wants to play it down,
Yeah.
I just hope he's back there now before anyone gets to listen to this.
Yeah, you might want to text him before this is released. A quick apology and to get on very, very quickly. Tea Garden Jazz in the 6:02. The Adair Manor Opportunity Handicap hurdle is the nap off the top. Before I let you go, Deck, is there anything that catches your eye? I know there's Killarney on Wednesday. Obviously, we're recording Tuesday night. You didn't see anything at Killarney on Wednesday or Leopardstown Thursday, or even any interesting entries that you might see Friday or Saturday, even from the Curragh with the Oaks or anything like that?
Well, look, we might get to cover the Oaks, maybe if it's on a spaces, but I've thought Willie's filly in the Oaks has been quite interesting. I thought she was very impressive now when she won at Leopardstown, and I've had my eye on her for the race since then. And,
they're still trying to pull her up, I heard.
They're still trying to pull her up.
They're still trying to pull her up.
She might canter into the stalls in the Curragh. In and out in the one stride.
She gave Legatismo a run for her money with apparently. Is that what you told me anyway? In terms of trying to pull her up.
She's the one that's taken my fancy now for that race for quite a while. I haven't backed her anti-post or anything like that, but she's going to run, I believe.
Yeah, Lope de Lilas. 4-1 now, by the way, for the Oaks. Even off a maiden at Leopardstown, which is quite incredible. Port Fairy 11-4 favourite, I think, at the moment. The Ribblesdale winner, heading the mark of Fraden O'Brien. Content in there as well, 6-1. Ran a blinder, I thought, stepping up in trip in the Pretty Polly, but we can talk all about that hopefully at a later stage. The only thing I want to just bring people's attention to, it's not a bet, but it's a horse that you need to follow, and I think a horse that could win the Galway Hurdle personally. He is running at the 7:55 at Leopardstown on Thursday. Kings Hill, it's his flat debut. Last seen finishing behind Daddy Longlegs at Punchestown. Was fourth behind Daddy Longlegs that day and was unlucky not to win at Ballinrobe before that behind Cheerful Chap. Was thought good enough to run in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. He was well beaten by Slade Steele that day. But he's definitely an improving horse. He's having a pipe opener in a maiden at Leopardstown with a view to probably the Galway Hurdle, and he's probably one you should not miss if he gets to the Galway Hurdle and gets in. I think he's got an outstanding chance, and to be brutally honest with you, he's a very talented horse, and I'd say he'll give that a very, very good go. If you want to have a bet on a horse at a big price at Leopardstown on Thursday, I'd hopefully be a double figure price Kings Hill on his flat debut. I think he's going to give that a really, really good go. There'd be nothing coming home better than him anyway over that 10 furlong trip. It's just a matter of if he has the gears to keep up with those 3-year-olds over 10. So that's going to be me. A quick early tip for the Galway Festival Deck. Anything else to add before we leave?
No, look, I just want to say thanks for all the messages that I received after Ceanndana winning on Friday night. I didn't bother trying to reply to everyone. It was too much. I just liked whatever was sent, but they didn't go unnoticed, and that was lovely. Was quite touched by the amount of people that said well done and seemed to enjoy him winning as much as we did.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good.
Yeah, so thanks very much. He is a special horse to be involved in. I hope, if you get to enjoy it as well, that makes it even better.
Absolutely.
Here's to a few more days.
And just as an FYI, because there was a lot of congratulations lads under the post, I have nothing to do with the horse. Unfortunately, just to put that out there, I have nothing to do with the horse. I wish I did. I really do. But it's congratulations, Deck, and House Prater Syndicate. Not congratulations, lads. Anyway, that's all we've got time for on Tap 54. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Any questions as well, feel free to drop them in. We'll do our best to answer them.
That's one thing we love, the interaction, whether it's on the race course or it's messages into us. And obviously, we're probably not as active, Andy, during the summer as we will be. I'll
be getting back on it, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll be back on it, So life is busy during the summer, but we we'll always get back to you at some stage anyway. But
Yeah.
we do love that. So don't be afraid to come up and say hello and have a chat if you see us, or drop us a message if you want to give us a tip, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always listening.
we're open to hearing your thoughts as well, like, and like I've got messages and they've been quite interesting. I've got a couple of winners sent to me as well. Thanks very much for them. So look, we're quite approachable. Don't be afraid to have a chat with us.
Absolutely, totally agree. And until next time, Top 55, we won't include the spaces in our Top 55 for the record. That'd just be a bonus. But Top 55 will be back next week. We'll get something covered. Don't worry. Maybe Leopardstown. I think the Tyrus and Silver Flash, the best Thursday card of the summer up there. So possibly something like that. But until then, guys, bye-bye and thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks.